Hey guys, it's Maria here from GoalieTrainingPro.com, and I'm totally pumped today because Eric Marvin from Warrior dropped by the gym. He's just walking by, oddly. No, I'm just kidding. He drove up to hang out with me for a little bit. So he brought some gear, and he actually brought some sneak peek stuff, but I'm going to have to show you that in a later post because it's top secret right now, so we can't show it to you. But we're going to go over some of the stuff that's on the market now, and then tune in just down the road a little bit, and we'll show you some of the newer gear as well. We're looking at the goalie pads, and you were explaining how you have a little bit of a different boot channel. Do you want to just explain how that affects the goalie, how it's a little bit better for them?
Sure. Thanks, Maria. Yeah, we've got a boot that's exclusive to us with a lot of the features on it. So first, you can see completely bindingless, top and bottom. So look-wise and durability-wise, this feature really enhances a goalie pad. So one of the reasons here in the boot area that the bindingless boot really helps is that it creates a larger surface area, so the impact's absorbed across a larger plane. So that first spot that a pad starts to wear is no longer an issue. Also, you can see, I know Maria, you can see here the people watching but might not be able to, but the corners here are all beveled, so every which way is rounded. What this allows for is when you're in your stance, it allows for a seamless transition to a butterfly. So as I'm in my stance, that rounded edge allows me to almost use it as a pivot point. And with no friction and no points pushing off the ice, stopping me from moving. Yeah. So it's such a subtle feature, but it's one that you notice right away, because I know when I was playing in university and college and even in the minors, for the first month that I got a new set of pads, I'd have to crank up on this inside toe, so that way it wouldn't interfere with my stance. Yeah, totally. So a couple other things here that are very unique to us is we have a completely flat boot channel. The purpose of this is we wanted to create as little resistance as possible when your skate drops to the ice. One of the benefits is that it rotates very differently on your skate. So it almost uses your skate like a teeter-totter would. So it pivot point on here, so it's constantly floating on top of the skate. So even in a low, deep crouch, your skate's able to move, but the pad stays square to the shooter in position. So it frees up your movement a lot, and then you don't have the pad kind of cranking on you this way or that. Yeah, it alleviates any obstacles between your skate and the ice. Yeah, that's cool. So it allows you to get as low to the ice as your callings will let you. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to explain this too? Because I thought that was pretty cool how that worked. Yeah, so this is the sliding toe bridge is something that Pete designed, Pete Smith designed years ago. So the sliding toe bridge, what's really great about it is it allows you to wear your pad nice and snug. So you get a nice responsive feel out of the pad. So where you don't have to put 3 or 4 knots into it to get your skate to drop to the ice when you drop into a butterfly. So if you can see, when I drop to the ice, the sliding toe bridge allows the toe of my skate to drop below the height of my knee in the knee channel here. So it takes a lot of pressure off your knees and hips. And allows you to recover faster because your skate blade is going to be closer to the ice. And then when you come back to your stance from being in your butterfly, you have a nice responsive pad that pulls it into place. Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And then we moved up and we were talking a little bit about how you could adjust this differently based on personal preference. Do you want to kind of explain that a little bit? Yeah, Warrior's they've got one line of gear. It's their our ritual line. So what we have to do is we have to accommodate the broad market within one set of lake pads. So the way Pete has designed it and the staff in Montreal has designed the leg channel, it's got cushion to it. It is, flatter, so the transition when the pad rotates on your leg is very seamless, and allows for it to, when it pivots back into place, it's ready to take a shot and absorb a shot. But the other cool thing is the flaps. So if you like a tight feel, these wraps overlap, and they provide that nice, comfortable, tight feel. Or you can go with a nice looser option to where it's a nice open leg channel. You get that a lot of movement out of your leg, and the pad kind of floats on your skate and on your leg and sits in front of you. So you can set up your pad in any way possible. You know, one of the things I recommend with this pad is when you get it, that you mess around with the strapping from A to Z, from the boot strap to the upper thigh strap, because you can get any type of feel out of this pad. Yeah. You just have to know what feel you're looking for and then go after it.
Yeah, so it really offers a lot of versatility that
Absolutely,
way.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I think I want to touch on with this, because this, like, to me, you guys know I'm not a technique expert, I'm not an equipment expert, so that's why I'm so happy that Eric came down today. But, you know, I do look at the performance and the injury prevention. You guys know is a big thrust in what I do. So this really is near and dear to me, because I see this area as creating problems or resolving problems in terms of MCL strain, and actually the inside will have an impact on how much pressure you're putting on your lateral meniscus. So adjusting this properly in terms of padding can really play into that. Can you explain a little bit? You guys had some kind of neat
yeah.
You can modify that a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And these areas are the areas that I talk to a pro goalie with, or something like that. That guys know about their gear, they know how to manipulate their gear. And one of the things that I used to do, and I'm sure a lot of the goalies out there do, is they make it their own, right? So, you know, even when you customize a set of gear, there's always something you can change, right? So one of the side effects to Pete Smith being very good at manufacturing, being very good at design, is for a goalie perspective, this is a goalie's dream. He allows you the ability to customize your knee stacks in essence. So because he builds these towards manufacturing and ease of manufacturing, some of the knee stack area is built with pockets. So now you can remove the knee stack, remove the hard foams, and insert a softer layer if you're, you know, feeling that it's too hard for you and your style. And you can change that. And you can change all of that, you know, across the board. There's pockets on this outer wedge as well. Yeah. There's pockets on the inner landing of the calf. I mean, there's pockets all over the place that you can really tweak to get it exactly how you want it.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, that's perfect.
So that's the only other real thing is, I think, to touch on where you're going with the meniscus and everything like that is, I think the relationship between the sliding toe bridge and the knee area really takes pressure off your knees, your hips. You know, I tore my meniscus, and so I know how critical it is to get something that feels good and functions the way you want it to, because that's something that I didn't get a chance to really do before my injury. But I mean, just something as simple as the outside flap having hinges built into it to allow it to bend and take pressure off, whether you're wearing knee pads or not, is a huge thing. And then the ability to have a nice responsive feel where your skate drops to the ice and below your knee is, I mean, there's not a whole lot of room here for your foot to get below your knee. No. These days with the NHL regulations on this. So the whole pad is really, it's well thought out. Pete and his crew up in Montreal did a great job thinking through this pad. Yeah, so, and all the little features.
I love the idea of you know, the pad floating on the leg, you know, at the knee and at the foot and at the thigh and even in the lower leg, you know, because then your leg can be doing what it needs to do and the pad kind of follows along, but you're not trying to work against the pad to get into some of those postures.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the pro guys, like we had I think 4 guys in the minors and the NHL this year that switched to this pad from like say our old model, the Fortress version, with one sample set. So it was an easy transition for our NHL and AHL guys to transition into this pad, because it really does, it doesn't fight against you. Yeah. It works with you, and it actually improves your rotation and your slides, your butterfly slides and recoveries.
Yeah. As a goalie, and now, you know, in the business as a rep, how long does it take to break in a new set of pads, do you think, or is it really personal preference?
Yeah, I think it's personal preference. It's that sweet spot, right? Like, yeah. Every set of pads has a limited amount of time where they feel amazing. Yeah. So how do you get that quickly? And you know, I think if you mess with your gear, you know what the feeling you're going for. I think you can get there. As far as, you know, like durability and everything of the pad, we've got minor league guys and college guys that are out on the ice every day for hours, right? And they're only allowed one set of pads. So pro guys, college guys can wear this one set a year, and you know, it just proves that it's a nice durable pad that will offer the I guess the functionality and reaction that the goalie's looking for.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.